You know that feeling. The deadline is looming, the important task is waiting, but instead of tackling it, you find yourself doing literally anything else. You're fully aware that putting it off will only cause more stress, lost opportunities, or a frantic scramble later, yet you still choose to delay. It's the ultimate paradox of human behavior, isn't it? Our rational brain screams at us to just get it done, but we scroll, binge watch, or suddenly find the urgent need to reorganize our entire sock drawer. Procrastination isn't simply laziness or a lack of willpower. If it were, we'd all have conquered it by now. Instead, it's a far more complex and universal psychological puzzle, cutting across cultures and professions. From students postponing essays to professionals missing critical reports, this seemingly self-sabotaging pattern is eerily consistent. Why this self-sabotage? Why choose instant gratification over future pain? This isn't merely lacking discipline. It's a deep-seated psychological phenomenon. Our brains prioritize short-term emotional relief, making it incredibly hard to stop. It's not about what to do, but why we delay. Deep-seated psychological phenomenon. Our brains prioritize short-term emotional relief, making it incredibly hard to stop. It's not about what to do, but why we delay. And for many of you, the immediate gut reaction when you hear about procrastination is probably self-judgment. You might label yourself as lazy, undisciplined, or just not good enough. But here's where the real science comes in and challenges that narrative. Psychological research overwhelmingly shows that procrastination is far more complex than simple laziness. In fact, if you're honest with yourself, you probably know plenty of highly motivated, intelligent, and successful people who still struggle with it. It's not a character flaw inherent to you as a person. It's not about lacking motivation in general. Instead, think of procrastination as a sophisticated, albeit unhelpful, coping mechanism. It's your brain's way of trying to protect you from something unpleasant. What kind of unpleasant? Well, it could be the anxiety of starting a difficult task, the fear of failure, the dread of boredom, the pressure of perfectionism, or even just uncertainty about how to begin. When faced with these negative emotions, your brain offers a temporary escape, delay. By putting off the task, you get immediate relief from the discomfort it evokes. This relief is powerfully reinforcing, making it more likely you'll use the same strategy next time. So, it's not that you're unwilling to work. It's that you're trying to avoid a specific internal experience tied to that work. It's a deeply ingrained response to certain emotional triggers, not an inherent defect in your character. So, if it's not an inherent defect in your character, what's truly happening when you can't stop procrastinating? A major factor is present bias. This isn't a personal failing. It's how our brains are fundamentally wired. We're inherently biased to value immediate gratification over future benefits. Logically, you know a future outcome might be more important, but your brain is simply swayed by what feels good right now. When you decide to not tackle a difficult task, you get an immediate hit of dopamine, a momentary sigh of relief. Avoiding an unpleasant task in this moment feels incredibly potent. This immediate satisfaction powerfully overshadows the distant pain of dealing with it later, even as deadlines loom or consequences become severe. Your brain, seeking to conserve energy and maximize immediate comfort, prioritizes that quick, easy win. It's essentially saying, let's feel good now and worry about later. This isn't weakness, it's an evolutionary mechanism. While crucial for our ancestors' survival, helping them prioritize immediate needs and threats, in our modern world, this wiring often leads directly to chronic procrastination. Recognizing this internal tug-of-war is the first crucial step towards gaining control. But what exactly is that internal tug-of-war often about? At its heart, procrastination isn't usually about laziness, despite what we might tell ourselves. Instead, it's a deeply ingrained emotional regulation strategy. Think about it. When you have a daunting task ahead, maybe a big report, a difficult conversation, or even just clearing out a cluttered room, what's the immediate feeling that bubbles up? Often, it's not excitement or motivation. More likely, it's a mix of anxiety about potential failure, frustration with the complexity, or plain old boredom with the mundane steps involved. Our brains, always seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort, register these feelings as an unpleasant experience. And what's the easiest, most immediate way to make those uncomfortable feelings disappear. Not by tackling the task directly, but by simply not doing it. By putting it off. By scrolling through social media, watching another episode, or deciding to clean the kitchen sink instead. This act of avoidance provides an instant, albeit fleeting, sense of relief. That surge of anxiety, boredom, or frustration, it momentarily subsides. And that temporary escape feels good. It feels like a win, even if it's a short-lived illusion. This immediate positive feedback, this brief respite from distress, powerfully reinforces the procrastination cycle, making it harder and harder to break free. While immediate relief reinforces the cycle, a deeper, more complex driver is often at play: fear. You're likely familiar with the paralyzing fear of failure. The anxiety of failing, making mistakes, or facing criticism can feel so overwhelming that your brain simply chooses inaction. It's a self-protective mechanism. Blame any poor outcome on lack of effort, not ability, shielding your ego. However, fear of success can be an equally powerful procrastinator. It seems contradictory, yet consider this: success often elevates expectations. For perfectionists, the pressure to constantly perform flawlessly makes starting feel impossible, leading to endless delays. And then there's imposter syndrome, the persistent doubt that you're not truly capable, that your achievements are a fluke, and that success will eventually expose you as a fraud. To avert this, you might unconsciously self-sabotage by procrastinating, ensuring you have an excuse for not reaching your full potential. Both fears, paradoxically, keep you stuck. Avert this, you might unconsciously self-sabotage by procrastinating, ensuring you have an excuse for not reaching your full potential. Both fears, paradoxically, keep you stuck. And speaking of being stuck, let's talk about a powerful chemical messenger often misunderstood in this whole process: dopamine. You've likely heard of dopamine as the pleasure chemical, but its role is far more nuanced. While involved in pleasure, dopamine's primary function is actually about motivation, drive, and the seeking of rewards. It's the neurochemical engine propelling you to pursue things promising positive outcomes, getting you ready to act and explore. Consider this: when you face a demanding task, that lengthy report or tedious chore, your brain calculates it as high effort for a distant, uncertain reward. But then, an easier, immediate alternative appears: a quick scroll, a fun video, or just deciding to rest for a bit. Your brain, always seeking efficiency and reward, registers these instant gratification options as low effort for a fast, predictable hit. Here's the tricky part: it's not just doing something enjoyable that releases dopamine. It's often the decision to switch from the difficult task to an instantly rewarding one that triggers that powerful dopamine hit. This choice to avoid challenge and embrace instant pleasure floods your system, creating a powerful positive feedback loop. Your brain quickly learns: sidestepping the tough stuff for quick fun delivers an immediate neurochemical reward. This reinforces the procrastination cycle, conditioning you to continually seek the path of least resistance, strengthening the habit with every instant gratification decision. And this cycle of instant gratification also feeds into another powerful cognitive bias: the discounting of your future self. Your brain is remarkably adept at creating psychological distance between your present self and the person who will eventually deal with the consequences. It's almost as if your future self is an entirely separate entity, a different person altogether. This future you is often optimistically envisioned as more capable, more energetic, or simply better equipped to handle the unpleasant tasks you're currently avoiding. When a deadline looms or a difficult chore needs doing, it feels incredibly easy to just mentally push it onto them. Future me will handle it, you tell yourself. Future me will have more time or be in the right mood. This isn't just a convenient excuse, it's a genuine cognitive phenomenon. We create this profound psychological disconnect between who we are right now and who we imagine we will be. This cognitive separation makes it remarkably easy to defer responsibility and delay action. The immediate discomfort of starting a task is so palpable it outweighs the vague, distant discomfort of future consequences, especially when assigned to a seemingly different person. This mental offloading onto a future version of yourself, a version you optimistically believe will be better equipped or more motivated, becomes a powerful, self-perpetuating engine of chronic procrastination. The critical realization, of course, is that future you is still you, inheriting the exact same burden, often compounded by lost time and increased pressure. Understanding these root causes empowers us to employ targeted strategies, like breaking tasks into smaller steps, temptation bundling, or committing publicly. Armed with insight into why your brain resists, you can work strategically with it. Consider breaking down large, daunting tasks into much smaller, manageable chunks. This isn't merely about feeling easier. It reduces the cognitive load and the perceived threat that triggers avoidance. Each tiny step becomes an achievable victory, offering a quick hit of dopamine that reinforces forward momentum. Then there's temptation bundling, where you pair an activity you want to do, like listening to your favorite podcast, with one you've been avoiding, such as exercising or doing chores. The undesirable task suddenly becomes the gateway to something enjoyable, effectively redirecting your brain's reward system. And don't underestimate the power of committing publicly. Announcing your intentions to friends, family, or online creates an external accountability structure. Your brain, wired to maintain social standing and avoid the discomfort of perceived failure, gains a powerful incentive to follow through. These aren't just random hacks. These tactics leverage our brain's own fundamental mechanisms, our reward pathways, our threat aversion, our social instincts, to shift you from inertia to meaningful action. Leverage our brain's own fundamental mechanisms, our reward pathways, our threat aversion, our social instincts, to shift you from inertia to meaningful action. Here's the liberating truth. Procrastination isn't a moral failing. It's a solvable puzzle of human psychology, wired into our ancient brain's drive to protect you from discomfort and seek immediate gratification. Once you recognize this, you can stop judging yourself and start strategically understanding and working with your brain. By understanding these true origins, the emotional roots and neurological pathways, you gain immense power. You're building habits and designing an environment that makes meaningful action natural. This involves breaking tasks into tiny, unintimidating steps, building small, immediate rewards for starting, and using social connections to gently nudge yourself forward. This makes starting less threatening and more appealing than delaying. This approach helps you build habits that serve your long-term goals for a more productive, less stressful life. You reclaim your time and mental space from constant dread. Ultimately, overcoming procrastination isn't just about productivity. It's about creating a compassionate relationship with your future self, realizing that true freedom comes from consistently choosing progress over paralysis and becoming the intentional architect of your own experience.